Hello boys and girls in Edius world, Uncle David here, and in this video I'm going to show you how to export 8K video from Edius using Intel's QuickSync video engine. Okie dokie, so here we are in Edius 10 and we are in an 8K 60 frames per second project with 8K 60 frames per second media. So let me just quickly go over this stuff and get into the encode as fast as possible. Okay, so here is the media in the timeline. As we can see, it is HQX, it is 60 frames per second, and it is also 8K, so that's all good. And as we can see in the timeline there, it goes up to a minute, right? And then the settings, let's see, project settings, as we can see up here, it is 8K and 60 frames per second for the project. So it's 8K in, 8K out as far as the project and the encode is concerned, and it is going to happen at 60 frames per second. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is click on print to file, and then let's choose the H.265 HEVC preset here. Now, of course, this does require an Intel processor to do this. It's not going to tell us, I don't think, that it's using hardware. It just is, because it's the only thing that we've got available anyway. Right, so what I'm going to do here is just quickly go over what I'm encoding to. So main 10 I'm using, I'm going to use a constant bit rate of basically 400 megabits per second. Although this is basically a speed test, I am going to do it at super fine because I want to see, you know, what it's going to be pushed to as far as the best output is concerned, or the best quality. So despite it being a speed test, I do want to have the best version of whatever's going to come out the back end. Also as well, I'm on 512 kilobits per second, or sorry, kilobytes per second for the audio. Extended settings, I'm on, let's see, a GOP structure of iBBP. That's all good. Let's see, bit depth 10-bit. Chroma formatting is 420, which obviously this is the only option that we have, but I'm not going to get bogged down with this. But quickly, this new chipset can actually encode 422 as well, so hopefully at some point we are going to see an update to Edius, and which will hopefully allow us to encode to 422. The chipset can also decode 422 as well, so hopefully we start seeing that being implemented with Edius. Okay, so what I'm going to do is on the desktop here, I'm just going to do a file called 8K. Now before I click save on that, let me get my very scientific way of timing the whole process. Okay, so I'm going to hit go on the clock here and then hit save as fast as I can. So go, save. Okay, I was probably about a second delay there, so we'll take a second or add a second at the end, right? So let me open the encoder job thing here. Let me just open this up a bit more, and then let me get onto my stopwatch here. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, it's going to be really boring watching this go right the way through because it's saying it's going to take 7 odd minutes there. So what I will do is I will speed through this and I will come back in the last 10 seconds. Okay, so in on the last 10 seconds here, so let me get ready to click pause as soon as the job exits the job list there on the encoder. Gives a second. Oh, there we go. Right, so roughly 9 minutes 29 seconds, so 9.5 minutes to encode 1 minute of 8K video at 60 frames per second from Edius using Intel QuickSync. Now let's just have a quick look here. I think I put it on the desktop. There it is there. We have a quick look at the file size. So file size is 2.79 gigabytes. It's going to be there about that size because of the bitrate. Let's have a quick look at details here. So obviously 8K UHD 60 frames per second. Okay, let's just play the file quickly. Actually, whilst I'm at it, I might as well do one more test, which is going to be a bit more familiar to more people. I appreciate not a lot of people are going to be exporting 8K and 60 and stuff like that. So what I've got here is a project set up with, let's see, 1080p at 24 frames per second. So this is going to be like, you know, what I've just done, 1 minute export, but this time 1080 24. And the reason why I'll do this one is because I think probably a lot more people are going to be dealing more with HD and 24 24 frames per second rather than 8K and 60. So this should give people a very good idea as to what this speed's going to be like for this compared to what they would already know that they can do. So let's have a quick look at the file here. So it's HD, it's 24 frames per second, it's a HQX file, that's all good. Let me get up here to project settings, and same thing with project settings, it's a reflection of the media. It is HD and it is 24 frames per second. Okay, so that's all good. So what I'm going to do is just jump straight into the printer file option. Let me go once again back to the HEVC option here, and this time I'll just call this, I'll just call it 24. We know what it is. Let's see, as far as bitrate is concerned, let's do that. I'll just leave it on 50. Right, so once again, main 10, 50, superfine, 512 for the audio, extended settings, 10-bit 420. Okay, so all that stuff there is really good. Now let me just get down to, let's see, do you know what it is? I'm actually viewing this on a separate monitor, which is the computer that I'm using to record the whole thing. I'm looking at the wrong desktop. Right, hold on, give me a second. Here's my clock. Okay, stopwatch again. So what I'm going to do, I'll start the stopwatch and hit save. So start and save. Right, so once again, let me just pull up the export monitor here and I'll pull up the stopwatch. Okay, now this time round what I'll do, I won't speed through this because this is going to be a lot faster than what it was before, but let's just see how much faster it is, or not so much how much faster it is, but what this is going to do is give people a good gauge as to how this system is performing compared to what they would normally be doing as far as, like, you know, quick sync exports at a HD 24. Okay, so we're kind of chugging along quite nicely here. Let me get ready with the pause button here. So I'm going to hit stop as soon as it exits the job monitor thing there. So there we go. Okay, so roughly 43 seconds to do 1 minute of HD 24. That's not bad, I don't think. I mean, I don't work in HD. I normally work minimum 4K, so I'm not entirely sure how good that is or isn't. Other people who use Edius will know. But nonetheless, let me just reiterate the point again. At the moment, Edius has taken twice as long as what Handbrake takes, so I'm assuming Handbrake would probably do that file in, I don't know, maybe like at 20 seconds or something like that, whatever it's going to be. I don't know. Right, so here we go, 24 there. Let's have a quick look. That's properties, 261 megabytes per second. It is at 50 megabits per second, and the details are 1080 24. And then if I just click play on that, okay, so there we have it then, a video which quite categorically shows that Edius 10 is capable of exporting 8K video using QuickSync. And more importantly, probably with that example, was that the frame rate was 60 frames per second as well. Anyways, if you've liked this video, please give us a thumbs up. Also consider subscribing to my channel and getting all over the bell notification icon in the process. And you can catch all of my Edius stuff at www.edius.co.uk, which will take you to my Edius YouTube channel. I'm David Harry. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care and goodbye now.